Hi, I'm Bob Nelson.
I'm Jake Schriner.
I'm Tracey White.
And I'm Morey White.
A lot of drama in the room tonight.
Trauma.
Drama. I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation podcast, and we're glad you're here. We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
Thumbnail. Okay. Now back to being serious.
Back to the intellectual conversations that we're
Highly intellectual, where we contemplate the meaning of life, the universe, and everything.
And we're back. So we're back? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah, we're back. Yeah.
42. All right. It's an old domino game they play in East Texas. All right, so.
That is the truth.
I never came up in the Hitchhiker's Guide.
We should do that. We should just set up some dominoes and just have that.
Play the game. It's the domino effect. All right, so. Roger that. Okay, well, you know what? It's good to see you guys, and this is really weird because everybody's in a different seat. So are we going to go clockwise or just whoever I'll point to?
Sure.
Just you point. You point. And
Neat thing is, you get to choose.
Do I get to choose?
Yeah.
You're the guy.
That's very nice of you guys.
Yeah. Well, you never choose a card on Sunday. Somebody else always
That's true.
chooses the card.
Such a good point. But for so long, I just gave the question.
When there's one left, you get to choose.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough. Wait, that's not fair.
Pick a card, any card.
Then I go,
I'm going to pick a card today.
well, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to say pick a card, any card. I'm going to pull it out of my pocket.
Oh, there you go.
A different card.
There it is.
Okay. Bob Nelson to my right. How are you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. By the way, this is the Compass Conversation podcast. We messed up the. You didn't.
Oh, what did I say? Did I say who I am? I don't think I said anything.
We were so busy with the posing
so
for
much.
the thumbnail. That's my fault. I'm sorry, Johnny. I threw off the groove.
Pretty sure I said it at the beginning. But
It's Monday too. No.
I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation podcast, and we're glad you're here. All right.
Anyway, yeah, no, it was. I'm doing pretty okay. I feel chipper. So chipper.
You feel chipper?
Yeah, it was an easy day, which I was not. I was kind of expecting Monday to be okay, but more importantly, last week was not the nightmare that I was really expecting. It ended up being a very calm week, and yeah. So that was
awesome.
We even got to go home and work from home. Knock off early on Friday, as soon as I got stuff done, boss said, punch out, and I'm like, cool, we're gone. Yeah, which helped out. We had a lot to do. So
Nice.
yeah, ate too much, gained at least 3 pounds, I'm sure. So over
3 pounds.
Yes, 2
Exactly.
Thanksgiving dinners, yeah. So one with you guys. That was
That's
a
right.
great time.
Thank
Had
you
a
for being
blast.
here.
Yeah.
Loved having you enjoy here.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really enjoyed that. So yeah, doing okay.
Awesome. Well, glad you're here as always, my friend.
Glad to be here.
All right, Jake Schriner, to your right, right there. What camera is he in?
I don't know.
Still on this one, that's probably the best shot.
It's okay.
All right, lean in, man.
It's your good side.
Do I have a good side, bad side?
Multi-dimensional
Yeah.
sides.
We keep going back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Camera 1, camera 2.
That was it was a really good week and a very, very nice Thanksgiving with the in-laws on Thursday. We were all down there, so my wife's side of the family, there are now, including all the grandkids, 15 of us. So
Wow.
yeah, and the two oldest nephews are now 14, and they both I haven't seen at least one of them in a year, and the other one I hadn't seen in a few months, but I swear they both grew like 8 inches. And, they got a shave now and all that. I mean, it's like it's crazy how much they've grown up in the last 12 months. But it was awesome seeing them. We all had a really good time. Nice weekend with the family. Pretty relaxed. We got the Christmas decorations out and did all that, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah. I did have a comment about, I've been wanting to say this to you for a couple weeks about the base camp cards.
Oh, yeah.
Because for a while you would let people pick 2 and then they got to choose which one they wanted.
Right.
So the last 8 or 10 in that stack are going to be the The leftovers, the ones that nobody wanted to use the first time around.
Oh, that's funny. All right, well, here's a behind-the-scenes answer to that great
Do you
question.
take them both out?
Sometimes, because I'll look at the card that the person says, I don't think that one, and I'll look at it and go, oh, I agree. And if I agree, it goes away.
There you go.
But if I look at it and go, maybe another day, I put it back in the stash.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this Sunday. I'm like, the last 8 cards in that deck are going to be the ones nobody cast off. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have some awkward base camp matches.
After the first couple of weeks, too, I went through and I just looked at all of them.
Oh, yeah.
And just went, that one will be terrible.
Sort of.
And so I went ahead and got a lot of them out to begin with.
For sure.
And there weren't many because they're mostly pretty good.
Right. Yeah. It's a fun way to, get some goofy answers.
Yes,
the reason why we do it is so you learn more about everyone that is in the congregation. Yeah. So it's cool.
And that's only been around, honestly. I think I started using the cards somewhere around the time when you started showing up. It wasn't much before that, I don't think.
Yeah.
So we always had a question, but when we found the base camp cards, I thought, that's an easy way.
Right, for sure. But yeah, so let's see. Today was a normal day at work. Nothing too hectic. December is typically our slowest month, depending, because when it's not nice outside, a lot of people are doing their outdoor projects and stuff like that. So we just get some commercial business, but for the most part, it's just sort of wrapping up the year. And then we're going out to see my family in a week and a half, which I'm very much looking forward to. So yeah.
Very
Doing good.
Very cool. Well, tell them we said hi.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, and my dad says thank you for all the prayers too, by the way, because he's doing very, very well.
Good.
Awesome. And he's still not bad about that candy throwing.
Not at all. Not even on his radar. He is. Yeah.
That he speaks of.
He wouldn't tell me.
Nursing a grudge. When I see that Leckie again. Whack. Hey, Pastor Johnny. Whack. A bag of candy out of the blue in the middle of the summer.
Now he's got to know when they come back and they're visiting that he needs to bring a bag of candy.
Middle of the service. Just
Right.
He'll be behind the camera just waiting.
Yeah.
You have to rewind to an episode or two back to understand this story. All right. Well, awesome, Jake. Well, man, I'm glad you're here tonight.
Thank you.
As always.
Glad to be here.
That's fun stuff you're sharing. All right, and to your right. Yeah, it's still right. Tracey White.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I am well.
Full of truth.
Yeah. I will never lie. On purpose, except for
seconds after you say, you know. In joking fashion.
Oh yeah, no. If the rest of the week goes like it did today, it's going to be a long, boring week.
Oh.
I kind of hope things pick up this week. But it was a nice, relaxing day today. I did finish off finally today the leftover pecan bark that y'all
gotcha.
brought over.
Oh.
So,
It did not last that long at our place.
well, remember we also had the pies,
including that eaten one.
yeah, and we're still going through the turkey. The noodles are gone. The potatoes are gone. There's still turkey and a little bit of the green bean casserole left.
Gotcha. Your turkey was good.
Yeah, I can cook a little bit.
Awesome.
It's my turkey. Yeah. And then I brought up that text I got from Andy today, and that
Your
made
son,
my
Andy,
day.
to
Yeah, my
clarify.
son, my oldest boy, and made my day.
Yeah.
So told me I was a good dad.
Yep, that was awesome. I love
I like
that.
hearing that. So,
You are a good dad, man.
well, thanks.
All right, we're glad you're here as always, Tracy. And to your right is your brother.
Yeah.
Augustine Morgan White.
Oh, you went with the
The
whole.
fourth.
Augustine Morgan
Sir
White.
Augustine.
Our friend Morey. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing, got a little bit of a
Yeah,
drainage,
Yeah.
and so it's causing a little cough.
Is it Omicron?
Not, I wish, because that sounds so
It's
cool.
the Omicron.
No, I don't wish.
More than meets the eye, I hear.
Sounds
I've been trying to figure out how to do it. Dang it, you beat me to it.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, Morey, keep going, buddy.
cool. So, had an interesting Thanksgiving. Julie and I, for the first time, were alone.
Oh.
It was amazing. I just have to say, it was phenomenal. And I am truly glad Julie and I had that time together.
Nice.
We went to IHOP noonish, and then while we had the turkey in the oven, and then we had tons of turkey. Which this time we got one that was in a bag. All you had to do is throw it in the oven.
Oh, that's
And and it was fantastic.
Right on.
So it was juicy. It was great, and I made my green bean casserole with bacon. Yes, bacon is the key, which was really neat. Spent some time this weekend with my son and his mom, my ex-wife, who I still get along with. If you have an ex-wife, try to get along with her. Especially if you have a kid together. It's always good. So we talked about some stories. From back in the day, and there was one that they shared, and I wanted to share with you guys because it was pretty interesting. My daughter had a friend named Danielle. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Danielle.
If you ever see it.
Danielle.
She may actually watch this. I don't know. She might. But she was over at our house every weekend. It was just a common thing, and she was always there. And we were all sitting around the table probably on a Saturday morning, and Sherry, my ex, was drinking coffee over there, and Morgan was playing with army men, and Kaylee and Danielle were sitting there, and Morgan threw one of the army men, and it landed right in the coffee. And Danielle, without missing a beat, said, "The best part of waking up is sold in your cup." So, all right.
Yes! That's awesome.
There you go.
somebody after my own heart.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
I thought I'd share that.
That's an amazing story.
It was a great
Give it
story.
the last paratrooper drop.
Whoa. Well, thanks, Morey, for sharing that with us. Glad you're here as always, my friend.
How about you, Pastor Johnny?
Well, I am here, and I'm happy to be here, and I make no bones about it. Oh, wait. I would ever do that anyway. I don't even know what that phrase means exactly. But anyhow,
Fucking bone.
like I said, it's the unedited, except for when I want to do something funny, podcast. So anyhow, great visit with my family. My oldest son and daughter-in-law and grandkids were here right after the podcast last week, and they were here till Friday night late. So I had a great time with them, and our food was fantastic. Of course, you guys met my wife. It's just unbelievable, and we had tons of pies and things as well, because Melissa likes pies, and she'll make pies and things. Pie. So the week kind of went by pretty quickly. I mean, I had kind of these ideas in my head. I was going to get a few things done in the background. It didn't happen. I mean, every spare time, it ended up like everybody went out to go somewhere, whatever. Johnny, do you mind hanging out with the boys? I'm like, yeah, that'd be fine. I need a little time anyway. Maybe I'll get a few things done. What am I saying? It's just not happening. But had a lot of fun with them. So through the weekend, and then today back at work again at the school. Always interesting and fun things happening there. I was sharing a little bit about that with you guys a little bit earlier. It is strange where you. No, I don't know if I should. It's just weird. The places in my pants on the outside where I discover snot and stuff. So there's my gross story for the day.
Okay.
But it's just a kid. He was trying to move, and I'm standing there and on my shins. Just right.
Okay.
It's not had to do that before, so that was kind of weird. So it's such a great. I live in such a weird
just a
world.
snotty kid.
I just live in such a weird world. I go from these, kind of deep stuff, then I'm with little kids. It's a good balance, though. At least for now.
Grounded.
Yep, for sure. All that will be changing a little bit, hopefully, I think this coming next year, but anyway, it's been good. Been good fun working at school. Always weird conversations with people, but and good conversations, but so I'm fine.
Cool.
All right, you guys, what do you want to talk about to wrap up our remaining 5 minutes? Wait, how much time we have?
I do have to come back to the nephew thing. My nephew turned 18 turns 18 in a couple weeks, and then he graduates this year. And so he went from this little kind of goofy looking kid, and honestly, sorry, Jaden. Yeah.
If you're watching this, Jaden.
And he is now like 6'4", and I'm looking at him. He's got a little bit of beard going. I'm like, whoa, how'd you become this like handsome dude? And by the way, where did you gain the footage? Because he is way taller than I am.
Kyle's the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 8 foot tall now.
Yeah. Dude will never stop growing.
Wow.
Yep.
But
All right,
he is
well,
like 6'4". Kyle is.
He's taller than that, like 6'7".
Nah, maybe. Sorry,
It's
what
okay.
we were talking about?
I'll edit this out. So anyway, no,
Yeah, like we were never here.
as if you were never.
He's gonna Photoshop us out.
Just be some blurs.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't have time
It
for
was a
this.
solo podcast. I was talking to myself.
Yeah,
Blur
as if I had that kind of time, you know. It would be. Well, so let's talk about the weekend then.
We had a big Sunday.
Yeah.
That's a big old Sunday, yeah.
Ooh, by the way, the
Funny
sound
stuff happened.
streamed really nicely across Facebook when I was out, hanging out, seeing if anybody else would show up. I was listening, and you guys sounded good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some of
So I actually logged into Facebook today just so I could recap the sound quality, and I
Yeah.
thought it was way.
Yeah, it's much better.
more, so.
Much better than it's been.
It sounded good in the room too.
Of course it did.
It did, and there were some funny moments. I mean, some of that did not go as we had practiced.
Sure.
When Michael's guitar strap, whatever,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like something just popped off of the thing, and I didn't know what had happened, but I knew something had.
Yeah.
So I started adjusting because he was like,
It was all right.
"What is going on?"
Things happen and we keep going.
Yeah,
Well, we
so
were
it was
missing a
good.
guitar player though.
Yeah, there was a guitar in there.
I missed practice. I didn't want to.
You know what? It was a great honor,
Assume.
dude.
What you get.
You did the right thing. Because I mean, that was at once. You probably could have played on at least 2 of those songs.
Yeah.
Well,
I knew all of them except for the first one that we did because
Yeah.
that was a new.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's easy chords.
The interesting thing about that song is that it is a new song, but it's an old song for us. It goes
Right.
back.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't like brand new to everybody else.
For sure.
Just had to dust it off a little bit.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
Yeah, I'll be back in practice on Thursday.
Oh,
Play with you guys.
Not this Thursday.
That's right, not
Oh, we're
this
not doing
Thursday,
this
because,
Thursday.
let's see, although we might need to.
Well,
That's what we're talking
yeah,
about.
because we have an early big Sunday this month.
Let's just see here real fast. So this coming Sunday is the 5th,
Yeah.
and there's the 12th, then the 19th.
And that's our big Sunday.
Yeah, so it gives
So
us
let's
to,
practice on
yeah, we
Thursday.
probably need to practice. So yeah,
We are gonna be.
Didn't have practice last week, so it works out well.
The following
You'll be
Thursday,
all right.
I'll be in St. Louis,
Oh.
so I'll miss that one.
Oops.
so you'll need to be at the first one. For sure.
I'll be there.
The reason is because the 19th is when we are doing our sort of Christmas themed service.
Okay,
So the big Sunday is going to be us playing in our style.
for sure.
We're gonna play hark.
Of course.
Of course.
Hark.
Of course. We'll
Hark.
Hark.
What a
And you'll
weird
be
name
gone.
for an angel.
Right?
Not on Big Sunday.
Well,
I'll
it's
be gone
Harold.
the next.
Oh, wait.
yeah.
The 19th.
No, we're leaving after the service. So.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be gone the next week though.
All right.
Be gone with thee.
I would be gone.
Oh, my God.
Welcome to our planning session.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey,
The
it's
Compass
fine.
Church.
You'll remember when we first started the podcast, we said, hey, it's a little bit behind the scenes. Anybody
Yeah.
who's kind of joining in, they'll
Yeah.
get a little something extra.
That's right.
I'll be honest, sometimes when we're talking, I do forget about the cameras and,
Oh,
Sometimes.
yeah, yes. As we should.
yeah, it's kinda cool.
I just edited it out.
We were in Mark. We were in Mark.
Johnny always says you're gonna edit that. Don't never edit anything else, including dancing to
Yes!
the camera
You
last
watched
week.
it. I was wondering if you'd watch it to the end. I couldn't help it. It was just too great.
Can't believe you left that in. Sorry, bro.
It was awesome. It was awesome, Tracy. I love that moment. It's one of my favorite moments of podcast. Like,
I was just saying Mark. We were in Mark.
We were.
Yeah.
Mark
we
chapter.
were back in Mark. That's right.
Continuing the long march through Mark.
Bit in your eye.
You're spitting your eye.
So another healing, right?
Another healing.
And in another instance where he takes the person out from the main scene, right?
Yes. Slight difference, however.
Can you heal? Can you heal it? Yeah. He takes his hand.
Yes.
And says, "All right, come with me," and they go.
Yes.
I don't know, to a back alley somewhere. Or,
Well, it says it leads them out of the village.
Right.
So in the one you're referring to before, he pulls them away from the big crowd, but
Right.
there's still people. There's still a group of people around. And then at one point, he actually turns and gets the attention of the crowd.
Yeah.
So it is different in that regard.
Right.
But he does definitely take him by the hand. And
yeah.
it does seem like a mean trick in a way, doesn't it? Takes a blind man out of the village, leads him by the hand, and then spits in his eye.
Yeah.
But it has a good punchline. I mean, he gets to see. So,
It's an exchange.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, you were talking about how, you know, he spit in his eye, and it was still blurry the first time. And
Yes.
then he put his hands, and I was thinking, spit one, spit two, spit one, spit two. I know that's terrible.
That's what you think. That's what you think. There, you know, and there, I do glad. You know, I am glad that we do have the podcast for anybody who's even following along. Just to clarify a thing or two, or if I think about something from Sunday, I thought, you know, I'm not sure I made that very clear. So anyway, as we're talking here, there is something I want to make a little bit more clear about. What else about service and message?
So one of the big points of that healing, it really seems to be an object lesson for the disciples.
Yeah.
You know, right a couple verses before that, are you guys that dense? And with specifically, you know, do you not understand? Do you not have the eyes to see? Do you not have the ears to hear? And so he uses the blind man to heal him, and he uses it, the two-step process. The only time that happens, and you see something? Oh yeah, I see like people, like trees walking. So and then the second time, and it's like, hopefully the disciples got it. Probably didn't, but they kind of did when Peter comes back and
because he asked.
He asked a question right after.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And to quote it, who do people say that I am?
Okay, and again,
That was the question.
just for some clarity, there was a little time, so it wasn't like immediately,
right.
because they went to.
Yeah, later
Oh,
that night,
different
it
place.
was a 25-mile walk.
Yeah.
On the way to Caesarea Philippi.
Yeah, and it is a little clear. It's like it says in the road, and then other instances where this that story is told, you do get the impression they're pretty much there, right? So it's in that area region near the wall, near the cave, near all the temples. So not so much in between, but actually there. So.
Yeah, but all right, I've given you guys a day to think about this.
Yeah,
Right.
So I'm gonna ask this question now.
Yes.
You know, they were still talking about it.
You would think so. I mean, sometimes you think
Wouldn't
they're talking
you?
about it.
Absolutely. Like a day later, that's not just gonna go away.
No.
It's gonna be fresh in your mind. Like we
Right.
just saw a blind man see. Like
Yeah.
no, on to the next thing. Like
Yeah, I was about to say that. But then they get about the bread after the previous one.
right,
Yeah.
But that didn't mean they weren't talking true.
And then there's another instance of Jesus telling them, "Don't tell them who I am."
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And the reason we didn't talk about that on Sunday, the Messianic Secret, is why, Bob?
Because it's a secret.
That's right.
Oh, for the love of God. Yeah. Yeah, the old Messianic Secret. And I don't want to get too much of it now because I'm talking about it later.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't even go into the village."
Yeah, don't go back in the village at all.
Don't
Yeah.
go to the village.
But you know, it made it's not like he said go find a new home. We don't know that he actually lived in that village.
Yeah.
These guys brought this guy
Right.
to him at that place. But anyway, it's a funny thing to think about. And the thing I didn't think I made it as clear, and even though you guys are on it, and again, we don't really know, I mean, it isn't explicitly clear, but in the way that at least the Gospel of Mark flows, it does seem like there's a point being made that Jesus was trying to show his disciples. And did they get it? Not, well, you know, kind of,
Yeah.
but at the moment, did they get it? Probably not.
Yeah.
That it all kind of comes together when there's, you know, as we said, Peter's confession. What we didn't get to, though, about that is that it is such a beautiful and powerful moment, right? So there's, you know, you are the Messiah, as the Gospel of Mark says. In Matthew, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God, a little bit clearer. And it's like, yes, Jesus, blessed are you. God, you know, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. And then, like, hardly any time goes by, And Jesus starts predicting his death.
Right.
And Peter's like, no, that'll never happen to you, Lord. And he's like, get away from me, Satan. It was like the contrast there. It's like they got it, and what they said in that confession was so true, but the disciples still didn't fully get it.
They did, yeah.
Right.
So it is interesting. He has this healing. The guy kind of sees.
Mm-hmm.
There's healing power that's happening. But he's still fuzzy. And then he brings complete healing. And the disciples, I guess the object lesson, if that is indeed, and I really think it is, just the way it flows, is that, this, what I'm doing here is kind of what's happening with you guys, right?
Yeah.
You don't fully see. And I don't think he was playing games with the poor guy. He knew he was going to make him sick.
He was gonna get.
He did it differently in so many different ways, but yeah, it's an interesting story. I felt like Sunday, that particular message, I don't know, did you guys catch any of the points? Pastors, they'll say point 1 and point 2
points.
There weren't any points. I had no points. Although I got to tell
We
you,
just kind of went through like phrase at a time.
Your sermon was
That was-
pointless?
that's exactly right. So you're jumping the gun, Bob, and not letting me get to what I'm talking about. That was there was a professor in college, and that was the thing, because I may have told this to you guys once before, but he said, somebody raised their hand, they said, Dr. Pietz, he was the preaching professor, and it's like, so how many points should a sermon have? And he said, well, every sermon should have at least 1 point, because no sermon should be pointless. Thank you, Bob.
That's a pretty good one.
You're
The minimum number of points should be 1. It makes sense.
But yeah, I felt like it was a lot of information. I was hoping that it carried over okay, but anyway.
Was a lot of information, yeah.
One of the things that, and I've mentioned this in the podcast before, is as we've talked about Mark, is how complex it actually is. It seems like a really simple, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. But when you get into these layers where you start seeing things, you see that it's rounding to a target and then coming back out.
Yeah.
Each time, it's like we got Mark's throwing a pebble, and you got the ripple coming in, you hit the mark, and then you go back out, and then you find another pebble in the water.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like it's incredibly complex. It's not as if, Mark is making stuff up to create something. It's not like he's creatively going, how so this happened, then this happened, so to make it work. It's truly how Jesus did what he did, but the way that it's being conveyed is like that. What is it some people refer to as like the Markan sandwich or whatever, where there's like a thing here, and there's something that has to do that's in the middle, and then there's another thing here that kind of rounds out the whole idea.
Markan sandwich.
Mark.
If you want to sound technical, go call it a chiasma.
Can I call it a Markian
No, just Markan.
sandwich? It doesn't sound right.
Well, I had an idea that was really cool.
Okay.
Because, the whole time you were talking about where he was, and then he went to Caesarea Philippi.
Good job.
Yeah, and he went over there, but I'm trying to picture that in my head on the old Bible maps.
Yeah.
So we could put up on the TV and like do these little like Indiana Jones done.
Yes.
Getting a little too Monty Python-ish there.
So-
Group of little people.
But to that point, that might be actually a pretty neat idea, because whenever you're talking about how because they traveled a lot, right?
Yeah.
It did the circuit, right? Or whatever,
Right.
whatever. And there's significance in each one of the places that they went, and how they went, and why they went, and things about these places that are mentioned, like Philip was from Bethsaida.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The hometown of Andrew and Peter, right? So, says it right there.
Right there, and John of all things.
That's how we know. How about that? And then later on in Matthew, whenever Bethsaida is one of the woes.
It's one of the ones. That's right.
Woe to
like,
you.
Woe
you called
to
out my
you.
hometown.
Yeah, imagine how those guys felt, what I mean? But you know what? I can say that about my hometown right now.
Well, yeah.
Woe to you, Shreveport. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, and then it would also, having a map up there kind of gives you a good reference of how long it took to get from one place to another, or how,
Yeah.
you know, some of the travel decisions, route decisions do make sense. Like
Yeah,
that
that's
you
so
brought
true.
up in the past. So
Yep. We may have to
We should
throw
do
that
that.
from time to time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
No
do
problem.
I have
Hey.
one of the maps in like the start of the New Testament. My Bible has
Yeah.
the map, so anytime we,
Ooh,
you know, in
good.
Mark
Look
when
at
we
that.
go over, I look. Yeah, I
I saw you
look
look
at
at that.
Yeah, because it's good to have that reference, so you can say, okay, so you,
Yeah,
you
that's
kind of
awesome.
see where they're traveling and the direction they're going, and yeah, it's cool just having that extra visual and
Yeah.
you know, there was sort of a representation, because I mean you can read the text all day, but if you don't have in your
visual,
mind
sure.
where you're going, north, south, east, or west, even just having that little bit of extra info just makes it seem a little more, you know, realistic. Well, I mean, not realistic, but it just makes it more.
It brings it alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
well, and understanding that they went to these places without cars.
Right.
Okay, so
I
you
rem-
can't do a little airplane.
I remember, the Isle of Crete, right? Is in the Bible.
Sure.
I've been to Crete, the Isle of Crete, and nice paved roads and everything. But where there's not paved roads, you look at the terrain there, and you're like, wow, this is what they walked on. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
there wasn't nice paved roads everywhere, and it was just amazing to kind of think back or try to picture
Well,
that time.
It was the Roman Empire, and Romans
Well,
are famous.
they did.
Roads lead
Yeah.
to Rome is a big reason. And I was
You're
watching
exactly
something on
right.
the History Channel the other day. 50,000 miles of roads
Whoa!
within the Roman Empire at its height. So, I mean, this is a couple hundred years AD, but still at that time even. So yeah,
Well
you would
established.
think that there would be at least walking paths, if
Oh,
not
I'm sure.
something like, you know, like cobblestone
Sure.
roads that they could
I
travel
would
on.
think. It
Suppose we're
probably
still
went
in
nicely
development,
smoothed and paved.
Right, it's a little bit, yeah.
There wasn't an HOV lane.
Right.
Well, it's interesting, you know, the verses I often quote at the end of our service, you know, that's explaining what it means to be a Christ follower.
Yeah.
And there are many verses that we could use, but you know, like Romans 3:23, Romans 6:23, Romans 10:13. Those are three of what are famously, not famously, but kind of well known in a lot of circles as the Roman road to salvation.
There you go.
So I'm quoting a few Roman road verses there when I'm doing that.
After the life of Jesus, the account of Jesus, and then into the account of the apostles and their, you know, going into the world, you know, if you trace those out to, you know, where they are on the map, it's really neat seeing how things kind of
Spreads.
grew.
The gospel
Yeah.
spread,
You
yeah.
gotta do the map.
I hear a map request. Just like when you were saying that about you looked at your map and everybody while I'm speaking. I just never want to look out and see Jake going.
Johnny, that's, you know. You can bring a bigger one. You folding it.
I'm seeing it.
You come over here and point to that.
Oh, that's really fun. Well, yeah, so going through Mark, and that has been so fun, you know, and again, I know it's taken us a long time
Yep.
as we've been going through, but I'm okay with that, that it's given us an opportunity to, at least we know every month we're doing a verse by verse through at least the Gospel of Mark, so.
Very good.
And there are other things ahead, but I can talk about that.
Okay.
You know why?
Because the secret.
It's a big secret.
Secret.
Secrets, everyone. And we're
About out of
it's
time?
about that time.
I figured we probably were. All right, anything else before we get to our final words, guys? The pre-final words?
There's something missing.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's-
something missing.
It's the thing I
You're
say
facing
in
it.
the middle of the Roman road verses I quote, but then I always add one more.
That's
What is it?
John 3:16.
There it is, John 3:16. You gonna share it with us?
To the J16.
That's the one.
J3 Cam.
Yeah. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Amen, brother. Thank you for sharing that with us. Powerful words, kind of the gospel in a nutshell, right there.
Right there.
You're getting better and better at quoting that.
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, we are at the end of our time, as we said. But I do want to say to everybody who is watching that we do meet somewhere in the world every single Sunday. And you can find us on Facebook, always online, Compass Church Colorado. You'll find us there. And you can discover more at compassdenver.com. We would love to have you as our guest this Sunday at 10 a.m. All right. Final words.
I can't go with my
Final words.
phrase.
Love you guys. Love everyone out there.
Oh wait, which camera? Likewise.
Peace.
This has been great.
Grace and peace to you. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out. That was kind of weird.
Not gonna
I
grab
liked it.
I can't be first.
Final words. Likewise.